Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this is a Sleigh gift box, okay? So you can use this as a hamper gift box. You can fill it with anything you like, be it for Pampers or sweets or for children with toys. You could have it at a craft store as a display case to put your homemade crafts in. It could even be a card storage. It's 7 inch, just over 7 inches this way, 4 this way, and then 7 high at the back. So it's quite a big box, as you can see. It's going to be double walled as well, so everywhere. So that's going to make it really sturdy. I'm going to fill mine with Christmas presents and then put one of those cello bags around it in a nice bow and just fill it all up. So this is what I've got for you. Now, it's available on Etsy and Ko-fi, and this is what you get. So I'll just move that to one side. So you're getting basic instructions. Obviously, the video's there if you need help. And then you're going to get all the elements that you need. So these are the sleigh sides. These are tags. There is a score line down the tag, and you can put your own message on this one, or I've got one with just for you. So they're obviously left and right sides of the sleigh. So we've got that one. This is the inside parts, which I'm going to demonstrate, so I'll keep that one out because it's important that you see how to do that. This is the backs. So the backs, this is the top of the back and the bottom of the back, so it matches the sleigh. And this is the back inside. Then we've got the base. So this is the very bottom of the sleigh, and this is the base. And then this one is the front tag and the other inside. So we'll use that one definitely, and I will show you how to make it. So the instructions, let's have a look. Let's have a look what I wrote. So cut around the outsides of the sleigh sides and tags. Score and fold the tags in half. So that's simple enough to explain. So we've got our bases here. So we're just going to use those there, and we've done that. So we've cut out that. There's no picture for this, and then there's a tag. We've got the score lines. You just fold your tags in half. You don't have to use these. It's completely optional to you if you want to use them. Okay, so we've done that bit. So we've got these here ready to go. Let's just put them up at the back there, and then it says figure 1, 2 times sleigh inside. So that's these. Okay, so it says to cut away the side sections, then cut around the outside of all 3 sections, and cut around the outside fronts on both. But that's going to be self-explanatory in a minute. And then add them to the reverse of the sleigh sides. So that's figure 1 and figure 2. So that's basically, we're going to separate these bits, cut around that, and I'm going to show you how to add the tape and everything. I think they might be confusing for me because I know what I'm doing. If I read it, I'll be like, what? So we'll do it this way on the video, which will be the same, it's just the order. So what I do first of all is I just cut away this little front piece. This is the front inside tab here. So we'll deal with that one in a minute. Now it tells you on this one to cut away these side pieces, and it shows you on the instructions that they've been split apart. So what that means is that you're just going to cut along here, get your scissors in line with the edge, and then just take these 2 sections off, and then you're going to cut around that outside bit as well, and then you do the same for both sides. Just going to cut along there, and you can use a ruler and a craft knife or just big scissors like I'm using. You want it to be straight though, so just take your time, not like me. So there we are, we separated them. You're going to cut those 2 out and put them to one side because we're going to do them next. Now what that does is then leave you a straight edge, different thing altogether. So we just use the straight edge and we cut around there, and then we cut around all the shape of that sleigh, and then you'll end up with your pieces inside. Now I've obviously cut everything out ready. So that's that one bit, and then this is a front inside section. Now there are 3 different ones. There's a back, there's a base, and then there's a front. Okay, so they've all got these tabs on. The base has only got 2, one either side, and the other 2 have 3. Now the top tip for this is definitely to do the scores first. Now what I've done is I've allowed a bit of a bleed, so the score line is here but the red continues, because if you don't quite match it up you'll have a white line, and we don't want to see that, do we? So I've given you a little bit extra. So we're just going to go along there and score that, and then cover your work, like the good part if you like, and then score the tab. So do all the score lines first. Always. It's so much easier when you've got more card attached. I know there's only a little bit of card on this side, but it will still help to have that little bit of extra there. So you just score the tabs like that. And then you're going to fold them up, make the folds, like so. And then before we cut it out, we're going to add the tape, because then the tape will be right to the edges. You haven't got to fiddle around cutting off the tape. So put the tape on next, like this, on all three sides. Where there's a tab, there's tape, and it goes on the right side on all of the sections. So that makes it easy. And then when you cut these off, look, as soon as I go in like that, you don't want to cut the corner off, make sure you don't, because you have a little hole. So now the tape is right up to the very edge, so everything is going to touch, which is great, which is what you want, because then you're going to get a nice secure little bit there. Now the other thing that I've done, it doesn't say instructions to do it, but the other thing I like to do is colour anything that's going to be on the sleigh where it goes back to back, so that if things don't quite line up, you've got the colour there. So if you've got any coloured pens. Now this one here, it looks like a tab because that's the shape I've just cut, but it's not, so we need to cut that off. This is the inside front. So this would be one that I colour. So what I do is I just get a pen of a similar colour, and from the back, I just go along the top there, and it instantly looks that much better. Now this is the inside front of the sleigh, so I know that. So what's going to happen, let me see if I can find the bit. The bit I've already prepped of that particular one. No, that's the back. Hang on a sec. Two-handed job. Two-handed job. Never going to be easy, was it? Never. Here it is. So this bit, once you've made the sleigh, this would be the outside bit that you cover up to look nice. So the nice thing to do here would be, you've got red on the inside, so if you're looking from the, if it doesn't line up like that, I've coloured red there, you can see I've coloured red there. So on the inside, if this doesn't line up, you need that to be the goldy colour. So what you do is you get a piece of card. Whoa, everything's just landslided. Get a piece of card, and then just with your pen flatter, that's the wrong colour, your pen flatter, you just go along like that. Make sure it's to the edge, and then if that doesn't line up when you do it, so when this goes on the outside, this is the inside and outside, so if that doesn't line up, you've got a little bit of that colour, and if it doesn't line up that way, you've got a little bit of that colour. So hope you get my drift on that. So that's how you do those bits. Then the next section, the next instructions, is to glue. Let's move some of this out of the way. Bin. There we are. The next section, next instruction. What have I done with the bits? I'll put my padding out of the way, remember? So you need to glue those little bits. So when you've cut these bits out here, the side bits that we just chopped off both sides of the sleighs, I only showed you one, and they get glued onto the back of here. And you can see I've done all my colouring. I didn't colour the base of that, but I will. The base you don't really see, but I figure, well, if you're going to do it, do it. Colour it all. You see my little bit of colouring card? So we've got these two, and then what you do is this is where you'll see if it doesn't line up. You're going to glue these over the top where they match. So these get glued on, and I like to do this quite early on because they'll dry nicely. Because obviously when papers and card is moist, it definitely gets that softness about it. So you want it to completely dry and go off. So just use some wet glue. Is this one going to be blocked? I'll use a different one. Yeah, it's blocked. I'll use this wet glue. This is a bit messier, but we'll go with it. So let's get some glue. Great big blobber of glue. Blobber, is that a word? It is now. Sarah's dictionary. She's back. It's on form. You can see where it roughly goes. and then we'll pop this over the top of that, as good as you can see it. Come down a bit. Very wet one, this one. Turn it over and you can see you need to bring that in a little bit, and it looks quite good on that side, and it's not too bad on that side either. So we're just not mess about with that, because obviously where it's very wet, it's going to wriggle about a lot. I might put the glue onto this time. Makes more sense, doesn't it? So pop the glue onto there, and then just lay that over the front of the back of the sleigh. And this one, I don't think this one's going to match up very well, so it's a good one to show you. So just bring the front in. It's quite good. And you can see you've got quite, I've taken a chunk out there, so I've got quite a bit there. Now, you could cut it around, but then you'd lose the look of that. So I'd rather have that yellow bit showing that side than, you know, cutting more of this side off, which is why I like to colour it, because I don't have to mess about with it now. I can just leave it. So those two are on, and then we've just got to do the same for the other side. Whoops. Yeah, I thought this would be a nice little box to make, so I'm going to give it to the boys. I hope they're not listening, because they are on YouTube. Hi boys. So I'm going to fill it all up with little gifts. I'm not going to tell you what they are in case they are listening. And then we just check. While it's wet, do your check. That's like a motto. While it's wet, do the check. You've got time to move it. Once it's dry, you haven't. And then you've got to cut it and colour it and do all sorts. But you've done the cutting out. There's not many bits to this, really, considering it's such a sturdy little box. And I am really pleased with it. And obviously the templates are available on Ko-fi and Etsy. I think I said that at the beginning. Links are in the description to purchase. And thanks to everyone that is purchasing my stuff. You all like it. And I don't always sell stuff, you know, I do lots of videos. There's lots on my channel of know-how on how to do things, etc. And freebies as well on Ko-fi, not on Etsy. But there's freebies on Ko-fi. So have a look. Run along and have a look. So we're going to set these aside to dry. Hopefully I'll remember where I'll put them in a minute, if you know what I'm like. And then we've got to cut out. That was the one we cut out and we coloured the back, remember? So we've got our front inside. This is our back inside. The back inside has, sorry, that's our base inside. The back inside has 3 tabs. So it's going to go back, base, and then front. So they go like that. Let me see if you can, I'm going to stand up and make sure you can see all that. So we've got back, then we've got the base. So the base sits on the tabs of the front. There's always straight edges either end, and there's a picture, shows you on the picture what it should look like on the instructions, same thing. So they are literally going to go together like that, that and that. So we'll just do that now. So I'll take off the tape of this one, and you want these to line up. So take your time. Lift it up in the air, make sure it's up at the score line that you made. You can see the score line there, because they've all been scored like the front one. So just going to line that up. The score line's on the edges as well, as good as we can get it. And then you can either push down or you can fold the back up to it. It doesn't really matter, whichever way you feel comfortable with. So I'm just going to push down like that, and then it's stuck onto the back there. And then the same with this one. Now the base is going on top. It does say that in the instructions. So this tab is going underneath here. So again, we can lift that up like so. Trying not to touch the tape. You all know what tape's like. It's like, yeah, got it. You're not having it back. Whoops. Come on. I'm doing it left-handed, so you can see on the camera that ain't easy. It's weird, isn't it, when you try and use a different hand? So you can see that's your box, like base bit there. That's how it's going to go. And then we put the sides on. So I'm going to turn it around that way in the picture. it's that we're doing. Okay, so it's going to look upside down, so it's going to look like that, because obviously you won't be able to see what I'm doing if I have it round the other way. So then we've got our inside bits. Now the way I've coloured these is I've put the gold, because you're going to get the gold edge. Okay, now remember that this is going to be the back, so if you put it up you'll get a better idea of what I mean. So this is the inside, so this is going to go down on that one, so that's the way that's going to attach to there. Okay, so you can put it up like this and have a look. And then this one, because it's a sleigh, you've got the long bit going to the short bit, it's going to go like that, so they're going to separate and go like this on the back. Okay, so we'll just turn that around and we'll get this back one in, which might be difficult for me to do with the way angle that I am, so I might have to turn it. Sorry guys, hope you can still see okay. I'm just going to line that up carefully there and there, like that. So that's going to come up, just reinforce that fold there, and then we're going to do the same on this side. Make sure you've got your shape, make sure you're not trying to do it that way, it's a bit longer that way, so if it's overhanging the score line you've got it run the wrong way. See, this is a way you can do it, is you can put it down like that and fold it over, but I do feel that that way it does tend to move a little bit more, in my opinion, when I've been doing them. I've done it and I've had like little holes in the corners where it hasn't quite done it, so it's probably better to go like this and then just quickly lay it down flat. So now we've got that, let's just reinforce that. So now we've got this, so the sleigh's coming along. Now it's sort of obvious that that's going to come up. Now everything wraps around the outside, and the reason for that is you've got a really nice inside of the box there, and I've spent time designing it to make sure that it's going to look lovely and professional. So the next one to do are these. So we're going to have to bring the box up like this and put it onto there and then lift this tab up to it. So remove the tape, don't let it catch. I'm going to try and turn it around so I can show you what I'm doing. So up to the score line there, that's where the score line is on that. I might just let it grab a little bit of it, and then make sure that you're on the score line of the rest of it and run it along. Now when it's in, you can then reinforce that, okay, but wait till it's all in the right place. So with this one, same thing applies. So it's really easy. It's all like, once you know how to do one side, you're going to do the other side the same. So again, get the score line, make sure it's in the score line, so let that one catch. And come down to the bottom, make sure it's in the score line, let that catch, and then that should be about right. Reinforce that bit, and then finally you're going to have a close-up of this one. Remove the tape, and this comes around like this, so you can see I've cut all the 45-degree angles on the tab so that they don't cross over and you haven't got great big thick bits of cardboard in the way, or card I should say. So you're going to go along to the score line again and then just fold it up like that. Okay, so that's that one done. Same on this side. I'll reinforce that. Remove the tape. Sorry, I don't think well, you might be able to see, but this is too, if I go backwards you'll be able to see. I'm just removing the tape basically anyway, that's all. So remove the tape, get it up to the score line, and then rub on the inside. So now we've got our inside box, and it's all red with no tabs on the inside, because we're going to now cover all the outside with all the other bits we did honestly. So we've got our back piece, so it becomes quite obvious because the back piece is long, yeah. So we've got our back piece and we've got our front piece, and the gold's going to go to the top so it lines up with the sleighs. So we can put them on. Now just check, because when you fold all these around and everything, it might be that they're a little bit crooked or short, and you might think, oh, I might see a bit of red there, I don't really want to see the red. And then at this point you can take your pen and you can just put a bit of red along the back of that front tab like that, up to the gold, and then even around the corner if you like, just to make sure that if it doesn't fit, you're not going to see the white. And the other thing is, if it's a little bit too big, if you've wrapped it tight somehow or anything like that, and it's a little bit too big, cut this piece down beforehand. So just make sure that it's not overhanging, because obviously you've got to put the sides onto this, and you don't want that to be any bigger than what that is. It can overhang at the bottom a little bit, but not at the top. And the other thing is, there at the bottom, just in case you get a little bit of white shining through, I'm going to just use a purple pen just to cover that. There we go. So now a bit of glue on there, and I've done the red because the red's on the inside at the top of this one. So make sure the glue covers all over. I know I'm not doing it properly, making it quick. You can sort of like wriggle it along to smear it a bit, and just try and get that up to the top, and make sure it's not coming over the sides, not overhanging the sides by any. And you can put it down when you're happy. You probably can't see what I'm doing, but I'm just giving it a little massage like that. Just double check, triple check, quadruple check, it's all good. Okay, so yeah, I'm happy with that. And then we do the same for the back. And you can see at the moment it's got quite a bit of movement because it's only one layer of cardboard, but you see on the finished one, look, it's much different. So it really helps to have done this twice over. So again, we can run some red if you want. You don't have to do this, it is optional, but you can. And you could do this on the tabs on the back before you make it as well. But I just think it saves having to do any cutting or anything silly. Just go along that corner bit like that. And I know it's purple at the bottom, but I might put a little bit there. It's the wrong, they are the wrong colours. They're not 100%, but it just helps. Just helps a little bit. And I know that should go up the side slightly as well. Up here, just whatever can't remember what it is, how far, but that's okay. Hopefully it won't need it, but just in case, be prepared. I was a Girl Guide bunch, you know. Had some badges and all. The only thing I couldn't do was CPR. They had the dolly come in, or the model, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, didn't work for me. No chest movement at all. Don't know why I was doing mouth to mouth a little bit wrong then, but I don't think you even do that these days, do you? Not mouth to mouth anyway. I don't know. So we just pop that onto there. Make sure that the tops and the sides are good. I do think that bottom piece, look, is a little bit long. And possibly a little bit wide here. Let's just rub that down. Yep. I don't like that noise, was just me being random, as usual. So there we go, got a bit of glue on there, it's annoying. And then if you've got an excess bit like that, you can just snip that off, because it might affect, wait for it to dry, because it'll move because it's wet. It'd be better to snip it off, because you've got the base, you don't want it to be sticking up because of that. You don't want that to stop anything. So there we go, our front and back are already feeling much sturdy, even though they're still slightly damp. Then we take our bits that we've previously done like this, and you line up by grabbing that curve section there. So that's the section you want to worry about, and then up here, and then everything should fall into place, okay? So what we're going to do is pop some glue, and you're not gluing the bits that you've already added on, you're only gluing all other parts of it, just that centre section, which is like the red bit that we cut out for the inside, which is slightly smaller, slightly different size. So I really need some glue to go around to the edge. It's going to get messy, isn't it, when I do this? Oh gosh, it's a weird glue. And then we're just going to pop that on by holding on to those curves. And then just see where we're sitting with that, up this bit here. Looking good. Give it a little squash. And then, as long as the top's good, got glue on me, rub the inside down. Because it doesn't matter if these fall in or out a little bit. You can see they look great on the ends. They should be the same size. But it's more important that you get this down. And this is where, if you've done any cutting that's a little bit off, I can see there's a little bit of ridge there. So the colour has really helped with that. So there's our one side. So we're practically finished now. We've just got to put the other side on and we're done. So I'd just like to say to everyone, thank you very much for watching. I do think that is overhanging a little bit. I am going to snip a little teeny bit of that off. Now I've obviously pulled it a little bit tight on the back, but the beauty is you can fix it. So that bit's off, so that fits better. And then the side will go on better. Otherwise, do you see what I mean? The side would have been sticking out. You don't want that. So make sure that is glued down nicely. And then glue to the inside of this one and we're done. So thanks very much for watching. If you'd like to come around and do my washing, just let me know. But thanks for watching, guys. I do appreciate you all, and subscribing especially. So pop your glue onto that one. And again, grab it by the curves here. This is the best guide, these two curves of where it's got to sit. And then check the top. I've got glue everywhere. Oh my days. So get it off my fingers. Oh, it's getting worse. And this one down here, it definitely needs to be slid up. So you've got to check all these curves. So does this one. It needs to come up. So give it a little bit of a pull up like that. There we go. That's better. And that, when that's dry, I'll rub that off. I'm not doing it now because it'll just wreck it. And then, oh, there is another bit. So there's a base. So this base bit that you cut out, the white bit, you can see the black line there slightly. So make sure you put the glue on that side. I will just check that fits actually. Oh, there's not enough glue there. Just check it fits because you don't want it to. And this just hides all the tabs and everything underneath. So basically, if you've just gone around the outside of the box that we made and filled it all up with lovely pieces of art and design to finish it off. And now every single part of that box is also double layered, which is great. Just going to pop that onto there. Me and my left hand is having to do so much left-handed today. Just check that's inside the sleigh. And come up that way a little. So, pop it up the right way. I'm not going to rub it too much, move it around too much, because I might slide the base off. But now that looks good. So as you can see, it's super sturdy now. Super sturdy, super straight, and coloured in beautifully. Okay, just got to remove that little bit of glue up there, or stick the tag there, or as we always used to say, put a bow on it, put a butterfly on it. Probably not for Christmas though. Thanks guys, see you all again real soon. Bye.